Hi everyone, my name is Sydney and today we're going to be talking about the first book in the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins. And Jesus Christ, it has been a long time coming. I cannot believe that I have not read this series yet. This time in my life reading them is unreal. I cannot tell you how happy I am that I'm finally getting into them, but also how fucking good they are. Like, oh my god, I just can't. I actually cannot even. I've seen all the movies and I remember watching them when I was in high school. The cliffhangers, just the entire story, I loved it. To see the things that weren't involved in the movies is like this added tension within my mind and body. I literally feel shattered. I already know that this is going to be one of my favorite series ever. But for those of you who haven't read this series yet, but I'm pretty sure all of you have, this story follows a TV show which is called The Hunger Games. And from each district in Panem, there are 2 people who are chosen as tributes to be a part of this game. And only one person survives. So basically this entire story is literally about the survival of the fittest. And you follow Katniss Everdeen, who volunteers as tribute. I volunteer as tribute! Do, 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 do. I can't whistle, so oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna go into the spoilery section. Without further ado, go read it, come back, let's talk. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because you'll want to know my reactions to the other books. I'm sure you will. So here we go in 3, 2, 1. Where do I start? Oh my god. We follow Katniss Everdeen. Katniss Everdeen is a fucking badass. I love her. Before we go into the spoilery stuff, we have Gale and Peter. Who do you like her with? Because I need to put this out there. I need to say it. I think I'm definitely Team Gale. They've grown up together, they know each other. Just Gale seems really nice. Peter is awesome as well. I really admire the strength of his character, but also this innocence in him as well. Peter and Katniss feels kind of forced to me, especially with the ending of this book. How Katniss was more so putting on a show to get sponsors to survive. It just feels too forced and too... whoa. Anyway, moving on. So some things that happened in this book. Where do we begin? I really love the backstory behind Katniss and her family. What happened to her father and how that affected her mother, and how Katniss basically had to stand up and be more of a mother to Primrose, her sister. That whole thing with Prim, how she's got a goat, how Katniss got the goat for her. You really see this special bond that these 2 sisters have. You really see just how much they love each other. Yes, within the first couple pages, but you really see it within that moment where Primrose has been called by Effie Trinket and Katniss volunteers herself as tribute for her. The amount of love there is unreal. It was very heartbreaking to see the comparison to Rue, who is a young girl. No one volunteered in her place, and she didn't make it. This game in general is fucked up, and it's so an example of what it means to survive. I think it's amazing how we learn within Katniss's character. She is a huntress, and she is an illegal huntress. It's so awesome. The way she uses the bow and arrow, how she can perfectly aim. That scene where she hits the apple to get the game maker's attention was fucking unreal. That was one of my favorite scenes in this entire book. I really loved that. This book is honestly filled with intelligence. I think that Suzanne has a mind that works like no other. So we meet Cinna, and I really love Cinna. I think he's so beautiful. The costumes he designed for Katniss were unreal. You have these people who are poor, starving. Within being a tribute within this game, it's almost as if you have to fake it to make it. And you really see how they have to dress up, act like it's okay when they're being interviewed. Do you want to be seen as being sexy? Do you want to be seen as being strong and stern? Do you want to be seen as humble? How do you want to be seen? There is this question of choice in that, because if you choose incorrectly any step of the way, you will be fucked. Within this story, there are the game makers who are controlling the game, the way that you start in the cornucopia. There is so much in this story that speaks of history, which I really enjoyed. And I also loved that within my book, there was a little interview at the end with Suzanne Collins, and she talks about how she was watching the TV and she changed channels from the Vietnam War, I think it was, to a reality TV show. and her mind just combined the two. It's such a thing that creeps me out because this is a made-up story, but there's so many parallels to reality. I think that Suzanne has done an incredible job. Haymitch. Haymitch was a character that I didn't like at the beginning, but you learn to like him because he's just brutally honest. The way he was able to get them sponsors. The whole story with Rue was so heartbreaking, but there was this beauty to it. There was this beauty of rebellion. Within that scene, you could really just feel. You could see the relationship Katniss has with her own sister being revealed within this relationship created with this girl Rue. There is this moment where Rue and Katniss are conspiring against their enemies, Cato and the gang, who I fucking hate, but anyway. And Rue gets caught in a net. Katniss saves her out of the net, but one of Cato's members throws a spear into Rue. Katniss is so quick with her bow and arrow, she shoots him at the same time that's happening. And it was heartbreaking to read because that was Katniss's first intentional kill. She turns over to find a friend, someone of innocence, and she is angry at the Capitol, what they're making them do, fighting against each other, and it's all for entertainment. That's the other side of this that is disgusting, and a matter of keeping up a hierarchy, their sense of superiority over the poor. The way that Katniss sang a song to her, how she grabbed wild flowers and placed them all over her, was so beautiful. She gave her a funeral she deserved. The way that Rue's district sponsored her as well, giving her some food in order to say thank you. I really love the whole thing behind the Mockingjay pin and what the Mockingjay means, represents. As the story goes on within the games, there is so much intelligence that Katniss, she gets a backpack and she's just so smart from the get-go. One of the girls throws a knife at her, she uses her backpack and she's just won herself a knife. That was such an epic moment, and when she later on got the bow and arrow, it was so good. I thought it was super interesting how they changed the rule that two people from the same district are able to be victors, not just one. And I was thinking to myself, why the hell would they do that? The end of this book is just unreal. The way Katniss fucking outsmarts them. How they have those berries that Foxface unfortunately fell for. And Katniss is like, Peter, trust me. And it's this Romeo and Juliet fucking moment. The way the game makers were like, stop. It is such a fuck you to the Capitol, which is just unreal. So a scene in this book that really just, I read it and like couldn't stomach it, it was awful, was the whole scene at the end of the mutations, how Cato died. These mutations are made up of the lost tributes. It's as if you die within this game, your body no longer belongs to your family or belongs to you. They truly own you, and that is such an awful thing. So I really felt for Cato for him to die that way. And the way Haymitch whispered in Katniss's ear, telling her, basically the Hunger Games are beginning right now. You may have survived, but the war is not over. And it's so scary. Oh my god, I can't wait to read the next books. But also the whole Peter thing, that he got mad at the end. Surely he would understand. It is a game revolving around the survival of the fittest. So surely, like, you can't be mad at someone for that. But I guess there's feelings involved. But like, I'm definitely not a Peter and Katniss fan. It's not really my cup of tea. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say except I'm so excited to read the next books. I'm so ready to read them. I've only seen the movies once, so I remember things here and there, but I don't really remember the ending. So I'm excited to just read it for myself and absorb it that way. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one, which will hopefully be for the second book, Catching Fire. I want to read them quick. So may the odds be ever in your favor as usual. Bye.